Good morning, travelers. It is dark because I was hoping to be able to take some of the glare off the cards. It is the witching hour. I was awakened by a little spirit in the form of a child who had the cutest face. It was like the face of a gnome or a little elf. For those of you who have been with me a while, I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about it. I don't have 98% of the time any dream recall. My daughter laughs at me because she's like, "Mom, did you hear so-and-so outside?" And I'm like, "No." Normally when I'm asleep, I'm like, it's lights out, literally. But now let something scratch on my window and I am up like a light. So it's the light noises that wake me up. But I could, bombs could be going off outside and I would sleep through that. But something light. And yesterday I was talking to my neighbor, and he was telling me, I live next door to a lady. She's a seer. And her son also has the ability. And he was telling me that he's been hearing the sound of footsteps up in the ceiling. But he, oddly enough, he said it was a little boy. I don't know how he, where he got this from, but he said that the boy has on dress shoes. So I was wondering if the little boy who showed up, and I got the distinct feeling that it was a boy, a young boy, probably around the age of 4 or 5, who woke me up. And the witching hour, according to magic lore, is 3 a.m. And this is when the spirits are most active. So I would take it that I literally leaped out of bed, not out of fear, but because I'm supposed to pass on some message. I have no idea what the cards are going to say. What I have are the Prisma Tarot, and then I have the this little mini deck of I forget what the deck is called. But anyway, I'm going to be using these two cards. Now, hopefully I won't go blind here in the dark trying to see what the cards have to say. But we shall see. We shall see. Okay. We are just going to open the cards. I want to make sure that I have them. Some of them, you guys know I don't read reverse cards. For my new subscribers, welcome. For those of you who have been sending me emails, thank you so much for the support. It is appreciated at this strange time. I think April will be just one of those months that's rather strange. You can take that for what it's worth. So we're going to, old subscribers, thank you as well for sticking with me. Once I complete this, close this reading down, I will be working on the last 3 extended individual monthlies to post up over on the website. I got some really great readings for Aries and Taurus. Were kind of, the energy was kind of, I don't know, very, very strifeful. I don't even know if that's a right word. But we do have some, lots of transits, planetary transits going through the signs of Aries and Taurus for the entire month of April. So that may be the energy that I picked up on. But everybody else, Had some really good readings. Some of the romance readings were great. And then some of the work and career readings were great. Just outstanding readings. I was really pleased. It's good energy. I'm going to be finishing those up today. And then I can move on to other things. So let's go ahead and lay 9 cards. The 8 of Cups. The 5 of Swords. The King of Cups. The 4 of Cups. Right in the center, the Hermit. The 10 of Pentacles. The 2 of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Swords. So there are 2 knights here. Now, so I have 3 court cards. The King of Cups, the Knight of Coins, and the Knight of Swords. Under the deck, I have the Ace of Swords. Can you guys see that? This is another reason why I have the lights off. These cards are so shiny. But there it is. It is a downturned sword stuck in the snow. Aces are yes cards. Okay. So let's see what we can, let me show you the cards. There is the 8 of Cups. Now, I don't know if you can see that quite well, but that is the figure of someone sitting on a bench. No, actually, they're walking, I don't know why I always think they're sitting, but they're walking through what looks like some kind of storm, okay? You can see that the person, there's the figure, and there is the person has a staff. It is loosely based upon the Rider-Waite deck. So that is what we're looking at there. But there's a firestorm here. That's what this looks like. Then I have the 5 of Swords. And I have 3 people standing in the snow fighting each other. They are all masked, and they are all children, young figures. Then I have this King of Cups who is mastering the water. See? King of Chalices. And he is mastering the water. If you can see that. I'm trying to make it so it's not so glary. And it is glary. Sorry about that, guys. Then I have the 4 of Cups. And look, there's a little boy sitting under a tree with 4 cups next to him. Now this in the center is quite interesting to me. It is the Hermit. It is a 9. And 9s speak to isolation. It speaks to a freeze. It speaks to a moment of pause, so that one can gain clarity. But what stands out the most to me about this particular card and this deck, and this is a lovely deck of cards, people. I waited a whole year to buy it. I had to look at it and look at it and look at it. There is no figure in this Hermit card. There's the Hermit. It is a scene of a river. There are a few rocks, and then there's a bridge. But what stands out the most is that big moon. Yeah? We have a full moon coming up. Then I have the 10 of Pentacles, or coins. And there you see the man, the woman, the couple walking with the child. You know, this is quite interesting to me because I was awakened by a child. And there are lots of children or references to children in this particular spread. We don't know if the person, the figure in the Eight of Chalices, is an older individual. It always appears that way to me, but, you know, that's subjective. The Two of Cups, and there's the couple in the river together, with their cups, looking at each other. Okay? And then I have this Knight of Pentacles, and he is riding a unicorn, that magical creature. And he carries a shield, which is a huge coin. And in the card, you cannot see this, but in the card, the field that this particular knight is riding through has flowers and strawberries. And then I have the Knight of Swords. Now, I find the sword suit in this deck to be particularly interesting. There is the knight. There he is as a young boy, or maybe a teen. But he's facing down this swan. And as you can see, he has taken his sword and pierced through the mouth of this swan. The swan has teeth, no less, and looks very, very fearsome. But he's standing in the snow. Now, whatever this card, this reading is trying to say, there is a moment of pause here with this hermit. And I feel that this moon cycle that we're coming up on is going to bring about some kind of change. I only have the one major arcana card. And the major arcana are the spiritual and the life lessons. This is how the tarot teaches. The deck is divided into two groups. The major arcana and then the pip cards. And the pip cards are everything that's around this hermit. So even though there are 9 cards here, this one major arcana that sits in the center of the spread holds more sway and more weight. Just the one card. And I think it's quite intriguing that the hermit has placed himself in the center. And what I'm picking up is that with this Eight of Chalices, this is an emotional storm. This is something that, but it is also, there's a portal way. Well, not a portal way, but an opening. Maybe I should turn the lights on. Maybe, and then you might be able to see what I'm seeing. I don't know if we're going to get a good view. There is an opening in this huge maelstrom, this energetic storm here. But these are cups. This is speaking about cups. And cups are emotions. And right down the left side of the spread, the vertical column, this is our past vertical column, I have an 8, a 4, and a 2. And what's interesting is his wand, his staff that he's using to walk through this storm with, are 8 cups. The staff is built out of the cups. And what that says to me is that even though you may be walking through an emotional storm, you may have emotions raging inside of you, from anger to happiness to sadness to fear, perhaps. Emotions can become a crutch in one respect, but at the same time, you can use those same emotions to strengthen you as you go on your journey. Now, the card is about walking away or walking through away from something. If I'm going to take the traditional meaning, the 8 of Chalices or the 8 of Cups represents someone who doesn't feel satisfied with what's happening in their life. And so they set off to seek that thing that is missing. Leaving behind, the implication is that they leave behind things that they care about. In this particular card, the person is using those things that they care about to help them through their journey. Even though they're not necessarily walking away from them, but they are definitely going through some kind of emotional upheaval and a change. The Four of Chalices, we have the young boy sitting on the bank of the river, and he is contemplating. Now, 4 is half of 8. So we could say, in effect, that perhaps you might be halfway through the journey, or you have come halfway through the journey. This is our past. Past, present, future, past, present, future. But we are at a place and at a point where we're coming to some type of we've shed something. We've worked through 4 things, whatever those 4 things may be, and now we have to decide where we want to go from there. Now, for some of you, this may apply. This is a general reading, and then it drops down to the 2. So we go 4 and 2, 8, 4, and 2. It's multiples of 2. And what we are seeking is we're seeking that connection to be loved and accepted, and to be able to share that with someone. Now, the fact that they are submerged in the stream is an indication that these are 2 people who blend well emotionally together. They have the same flow of energy, and they are not afraid to immerse themselves in the emotions and that energetic field of each other. Yeah? And they choose to do that willingly. Okay? This is why they are face to face. They are, in effect, the match. They are each other's mirror. But what they reflect back to each other is something that's very, very harmonious. Across the top row, 8 of Chalices, 5 of Swords, King of Chalices. So we're walking through this particular storm, but there's still some strife and some fighting. 5s speak to outside influences. So this could be, sometimes this card can be about gossip. It could be about stalking. It could be about somebody saying something or doing something that really bothers you. But it is also an indication of fighting like children. Okay? Now this could be we are fighting over children as well. I think, but it's a funny scene because one of the kids has like threw the sword down and he's chasing a butterfly. See the butterfly right there? He's completely not just paying any attention. This kid in the center is putting down his sword, but we have the one who is staunchly trying to defend whatever it is he's trying to defend. Okay? And then here's this King of Chalices. So for some of you, this could be a spat with the lover. This could be the return of a lover. This King of Chalices could be a water sign individual, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. If not, then this is someone who, in effect, is like the King of Cups or the King of Hearts for you. This person, I think, is able to literally control their emotions in such a way that they can make them do, or they can create an emotional state or not, at will and at whim. This can be a very, very powerful influence or a very, very powerful trait and ability to be able to control your emotions. But then the flip side of that is sometimes you control your emotions so much, okay, that eventually you are unable to express them. Okay? I'm going to come back to that King of Chalices because he's standing out to me. Now, across the center, we have the lonely child or young man here on the bank, the river, this scene of, and these two cards are both at two people sitting near the river or in the river. And then here's this hermit card. This is a lot of water here. And there's the hermit. Now I see him. I can only see the outline of the hermit on the, I don't, wait, let me see, put my finger on him. There he is. See? So this implies that this is someone who is at a distance, and someone who has decided that they, again, we have this theme of someone walking away from something. They're seeking and they're searching for something. And in this particular card, the hermit, his lamp is the moon. And the moon speaks to emotions, things down deep. It speaks to sometimes that which you may feel you can never attain. Searching for something that is extraordinary. But it implies a time of illumination. This is about looking deep, deep, deep within and really trying to get a handle. You see, he's standing high above the water, as though he does not wish to be touched by these emotions. But yet, simply for the fact that the moon lights his way, he has to deal with whatever is there, no matter how scary it is. Perhaps the person is not ready to wade into that just yet, but they are most definitely reviewing it. And what are they reviewing? They're reviewing the Ten of Pentacles, the scene of family, the card of family, the card of things built up. Here are grapes here hanging out of that tree. And there the different coins. This in this deck is depicted as a wand. So look at how strong. This is the roots. This is what grounds you. And these lovely, there's lilies here. And lilies speak to purity. There are purity and innocence. There are wheat shafts. There are, I'm not sure if these are tulips or if they are I think they're tulips. I don't know the meaning of tulips, but I think they have to do with love and sensuality. That's how I see it. They're very beautiful flowers. And what we see is people walking off swinging a child between them, which implies that this is about the next generation, okay? And having that kind of bond and stability and that kind of foundation in which you can leave. You know, it's not always about leaving money or leaving property to your children. It is really about leaving them with a firm foundation when you have to transition. This is, to me, what it is about. You want them to be able to make their way in the world and to make smart decisions, and to have a stable foundation on which they can build as they move forward in their lives. Now, it's kind of out of sequence. Ten of Pentacles and then the Two of Chalices. And then I have this Knight of Pentacles here. Now, this is about a message coming through. Knights always bring messages. And typically this message, because it is the Knight, this is a soulless Knight. I mean, really, he's riding a unicorn. And I would think that if he's riding a unicorn, I don't think unicorns are sort of like horses in the sense that, you know, you can kind of domesticate a horse, but I don't think you'd be able to domesticate a unicorn. It's a magical. It decides whether or not it wants to interact with you. So this, we could say in effect that this unicorn has allowed this Knight to ride up on its back, but he's taking his time. You see, the unicorn is grazing. There's no rush with this. So this tells me that there's a message coming. It will be a message that you have been waiting for a long time. And I think it's going to have the ability to transform whatever this situation is. But then the outgoing energy is the Knight of Swords. And this swan, this thing of beauty, has turned aggressive, has teeth. And actually the teeth are actually little swords. I'm kind of at a loss for what this Knight of Swords is trying to tell me. But it is the outgoing energy. So this means that this will be leaving. So maybe this is another test. Maybe this is the comeback of this Five of Swords here. Someone trying to come in almost at the last minute to ruin whatever this beautiful thing is that's coming. So I was going to use, I might do this. I don't know what these cards are called. I don't even know where the, here it is. Yes, the Visconti Tarot. And this is the little mini deck. So I'm going to pull 3 Visconti Tarot on this Knight of Swords here to see if we can clarify that. If I'm not able to get a good, I will use the La Vida Sabilas. Whatever this swan is trying to do, we can see that it's staved off. You see, there's the sword, and he's piercing the mouth of this. You know, this could be about finally silencing your enemies. Yeah? Because remember, Libra rules not only your past, present, and potential partner, but it also rules your enemies, your rivals, and your foes. And in one respect, I could say this is about silencing the enemy. But sometimes the enemy can be the enemy from within. And that is a yes. But there's something going on with this King of Chalices here. Swords speak to beliefs, perceptions, ideas, communications. And because this swan comes down from above, it's like something sweeps in, and then suddenly the knight draws his sword and stops it. I have a 7 of coins. A 3 of cups. Well, what do you know? And a Knight of Wands. Let me show you these 3 cards. There is the 7 of coins. I love these cards. I got the mini deck because I wasn't sure if I wanted the big deck. There are the 3 chalices, the 2 things coming together to make a third thing. And look at this. I think this is the Knight of Wands. Hold on. Yes. But look, it is a child on a horse. Look at that. That's a very, very fast-moving energy. You can see the horse is bucked up. You know, it's not a rocking horse. That's a real horse. And the 7, we can see that they're nicely balanced on each side. So this is about some kind of harmony. And again, we have that theme of 2. 8 of cups, 4 of cups, 2 of cups. To me, it speaks to some type of addition, wanting to add an addition to the family. Maybe not necessarily about having children. It very well could be. I don't normally, when I see that in terms of perhaps a pregnancy coming, the cards that we would like to see would be the Empress with the Ace of Wands. But that's not indicated here. It's looking as though these are two separate stories here. And it is these two cards together, this Eight of Chalices with the King of Chalices. Because it reads like it could be an older male and a younger male. So this could be about maybe the dad, the older male, has lost his spouse. You know, his wife has passed, his partner has passed, and he is struggling through that. And maybe there have been arguments in the family. Maybe he's wanting to start to date again, and the children are like, "Oh, it's too soon, Dad." You know, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Or it could be the reverse. It could be the son wanting to bring someone new into the family. But right now, everything's frozen. Everything is frozen. There's a definite theme of 3 here, but I'm not picking up that it is like something about cheating, or it reads like this is a relationship on the verge of change. Now, how will the change manifest itself? I don't know. I'm just a card reader. Yeah. Here we have the stanza, the card of communications, but there's nobody in the room. The sospiri, the longing and the waiting. For the luck to turn, there's fortuna. Okay. Let me look. Not only for the luck to turn, but for the for things to change, things coming around full circle. So the Hermit is asking you to, whatever arguments and fights, miscommunications and discord, you know, this could even be talking about the Mercury retrograde. Here's the message coming in, and then suddenly, you know, it just kind of looks like it wants to turn bad. But remember, these are thoughts, okay? And if we can control the way we think, we can reshape the outcome. We see this Knight, fast-moving energy heading out, but it's a child. It's an innocent energy. And he's riding into the future. He and that horse. The 7 implies that there's an addition to come. That coin at the top. In the traditional tarot, this is the card of contemplation, of waiting to see the seeds, whatever seeds you planted, have they and will they come to fruition? So that I can enjoy that and start something new and move forward into the future. The card says yes. Wow, isn't this interesting? Isn't this interesting? I want to take a look. This could be the Mercury retrograde. Okay? Because this card is definitely, this knight is riding into this Two of Chalices. He's riding back into the past. He's riding back towards, so this is some message coming in. And I would indeed say that this is a moment of separation, literally, spiritually, emotionally, not mentally. And these cups here, I think speak to a great sadness and a great, even somewhat like regret. And now we have to contemplate, what is it really that we want? What is it going to take? Is this new thing going to be exactly what I need in my life? That's what I want. And I would eventually like for it to be like this. It's that theme of 3. But there are kids all over this. So this is a gentle energy. It is a new energy. It is a pure energy. It is that wide-eyed kind of, you know how, I don't know how many of you have children out there, but even if you've got nieces or nephews sometimes, and you can have them, you know, sitting on your lap or you're playing with them, and you say something to them and their eyes get big as saucers, and it's like they're drinking in everything that you're saying. They believe everything that you're saying, and it's this magical moment in which you can see the child's imagination alight. Like if you read stories to them, you know, or you're watching a movie together and then all of a sudden something happens and you look at each other and go, you know, it's one of those kinds of energy. It's quite lovely. Quite lovely. I think it's just a little apprehension here, a little nervousness because there is no contact. The Donna Maritata. And again, look, there are children in the card. The dispiacere, the tears. The riunione. So this is about, I think, someone wanting, it could be both. Remember I said it could be an older male? For some reason, this always reads to me like an older male, this 8 of Chalices in this deck. So this could be someone's parent putting up a real resistance to their son, starting anew with someone. There's the 10 of Pentacles. Well, isn't that something? Well, let's pull a Heart Oracle card. The possums are awake. They sleep in my bathroom wall. I don't think he's awake. I think he's coming in because it's daylight's coming. So he's coming in after a long, hard night of doing possum work. I hear him climbing up the bathroom pipes there. Isn't that something? Oh, the other day, my daughter and I were out in the front yard with our neighbor, and we were talking about, we heard the coyotes out. Yip, 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 yip. And they literally sounded like they were sitting in the backyard. And That was the night before. So we're outside. It's broad daylight. And we were talking about, you know, how close they sounded and what was going on. We were having a serious coyote party going on out there. And then suddenly my daughter turned around and she goes, look, there's a coyote. And I'm thinking, now look, girl, you got the most active imagination. But really, there were 2 coyotes out. And they were hunting. And it was quite the spectacle because it was broad daylight. And it's very rare that you see coyotes like that unless they're, you know, maybe traveling from one area to another that you see them like that. They're really quite elusive creatures. They were hanging around the side of the building, just hanging out. And then they were scouting. And then they would go back into the bushes, and then one would come back out and look around. They were eyeballing something. I don't know what they were eyeballing. But I found that to be quite exciting. How big they were. That wasn't no fun. Then my other neighbor's, his son goes, oh, you should have got a stick. I'm like, what the hell? You want to play fetch with the coyote? I'm not doing it. No way. You nuts? No, that's called go back inside and respect nature. That's what that's called. Okay. Enough of that foolishness. All right, let's pull one angel, no, heart oracle tarot. That's what we're going to do. We're going to pull one heart oracle tarot to see if we can sum up that reading there. You know, that's just so, sometimes that's how, I don't actively use my medium gifts. Some people do, and that's what they do. And some people who have mediumistic abilities choose not to actively commune with those who have transitioned. And I'm one of those who does not actively do that. But the ability is there. So I don't know who that little boy was that came to me and woke me up. But I'm so glad that he did. He's trying, and for children to appear all throughout that spread is not a simple coincidence. It is not. All right, one card. I think there's a deeper meaning there, and I'm just not able to pull on that just yet. It may come up later as the month goes on. One card. That says change your focus. Remember, I was just saying, if you can control your thoughts, you can reshape the energy around the situation. Now, this is the 5 of Cups. I'm going to read you what the card says. The key words are disappointment, loss, shift, and appreciate. Some disappointment and sadness are inevitable. How you deal with it determines the quality of your life. It may be that you've recently experienced a loss, perhaps the end of a friendship or failed romance. Maybe your family isn't providing the support you need, or you regret decisions you've made. Any number of situations can cause unhappiness. When relationships don't turn out the way you expected, it's natural to feel upset and hurt. And that's what I was saying about that 8 of Cups. These are natural things, okay? They're not easy things. They're not pleasant things, but it's natural. However, it is not healthy to remain in that state for too long. When this card appears, it's time to put those sorrows behind you and shift your focus to what is good and positive in your life. Appreciate the people who love you and your ability to give love to others. Take stock of what brings you joy, that 4 of Cups. Taking charge of your own happiness is key here. Focus on what you have and are thankful for, and attract more of the same. And in one respect, I do feel this is someone who's going through a major transition in their life. And hopefully they will be able to find whatever clarity and whatever those answers are that they need in order to make this shift. It is coming. You can't rush these things sometimes, but what you can do is to accept what that is, whatever that is. And if you're seeking answers and you're not getting them, sometimes you're not supposed to get those answers right then and there. It's not supposed to be revealed to you. You are to accept and know that eventually the answer will be revealed to you. That Ace of Swords says that it will, and it's going to come with the clarity. I think it's going to come with such a clarity that it's going to be like a knife in the brain. So that is the imagery. I want to show you that card one more time. It's going to root you. It's going to just like ping. That's a sound I keep hearing. Hold on. I don't even know where the card is anymore. This deck is a lovely, lovely deck. And when you lay the cards all out together in order, they tell a story, painted. All of the cards blend, and then it's a huge painting when you lay it out. Look, and guess what? That's a swan handle. You see? That's a swan handle. And the last card down was that sword piercing that swan. You know, swans mate for life. Swans also travel great distances. I think the females leave before the males. It might be vice versa. I think they share in the child rearing or the gosling rearing or whatever little swans are called. They are also very, very territorial birds, very, very protective. We have seen the image of the two swans when they're mating, and the necks look like a heart in the center. So, yeah. All right, that's what I have for you. I hope those messages helped. And until next time, namaste.